Hello, I'm Aynsley Peet, Head of Growth at The Pixel, and welcome to today's webinar on live video shopping, where I'm delighted to be joined by Dan Garner, who is Chief Product Officer at Confer. Confer are a company at the forefront of reshaping the retail and e-commerce landscape through the power of live video shopping. Dan has a passion for data, communications, and technology, but is already in customers' hands to enhance their experiences, and is a visionary in the world of tech innovation. Dan has a fascinating history in tech, having founded multiple technology companies that have made substantial impacts across diverse industries. Having held senior positions at companies like IMI Mobile, now part of Cisco, he has played a pivotal role in driving the success of digital communications across many different industries. So welcome to today's webinar, and join us for a webinar that promises to inspire and enlighten as we explore the future of retail and e-commerce through the eyes of Dan and live shopping. So Dan, the first question that stands out for me really is, who are Confer and what is live one-to-one video shopping?
Hello, Aynsley. Thank you for the lovely grand introduction. So just to give you a bit of a background into Confer and what one-to-one shopping is. So we're a leading live one-to-one video shopping company, which basically has designed a platform to connect your online shoppers with your retail experts. So you can immerse with your products just like you would in store. The whole concept behind what we're doing is we're trying to create that in-store experience online. So we built what we think is a cutting-edge video shopping platform that hopefully redefines how brands engage with their customers in the new digital world. The reason we built the platform, Serge, my co-founder, he's got a very strong background in retail, and I've obviously got quite a strong background in communications. And together we realized that we could blend the capabilities of an e-commerce platform and the communication channels together to create a whole new shopping experience. And that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to do something different. We wanted to not just do two-way video like we are here. We wanted to take the video and use video as a medium to start allowing shoppers to have a really immersive and amazing experience, just like they would as if they went into a store. And the result is our one-to-one video platform. It allows your customers or a retailer's customers to engage with retailer staff or our staff at the right point in the customer journey. And they're going to have all of the products and all of the capabilities you've got on your e-commerce platform shared inside that video call, creating a really personal and immersive experience. And the reason we think that's really important is that starts to build trust with the customer. So a customer can start to have empathy with the person they're talking to. The person they're talking to can start to understand their needs, and they can start to share the right products. And just like you would in store, you start to get comfortable with the person you're talking to as they understand more and more about what you're doing. So it allows you to create that really personal experience. And in addition to that, it allows you to increase your reach. So you've invested all this time and energy building a wonderful e-commerce site, and you've got these beautiful premises where all your products are in that you can showcase. And now you can take all of those investments and you can bring them to customers all around the world and have a great online shopping experience. And that's basically what Confer strive to do. We're striving to revolutionize that experience, and one-to-one video shopping is a key part of that.
Thanks, Dan. There's lots of hype around live shopping, live streaming, really, and one-to-one video shopping. So can you explain to really how do they differ and where do they fit for a retailer?
Good question. We get asked this quite a lot, and there's a synergy between the two, but they are very much different. So live streaming, actually, what's really interesting is the two of them are used slightly differently in different parts of the world. So live streaming is basically more like running an event. So it's great for marketing or showcasing a new product, and it's basically where you can organize an event. People will then say, I want to join that event, and then effectively you get chances, a one-way video stream, to then start showcasing all of your products in that stream. People can generally engage with you over a chat channel, and you can start to effectively run a shopping channel as a live streaming service. And I'm sure we've all seen these type of experiences on the TV and obviously online, and that's basically what live streaming is. So it's a one-way video where you're showcasing your products and people are listening and they can communicate via chat. There is a consideration around live streaming as well. People think it's quite straightforward set up. It still needs quite a lot of effort to do. It's a channel that you have to set your studio up properly. You have to have your products there correctly. You have to have people there to support that whole filming experience. It's quite an involved thing to get working really well. But if you do get it working really well, it's an incredibly powerful channel. It's a great channel for launching new brands or new new product lines, or trying to, if you're running a sale or an event or something new's happening with your products, it's a great way of raising awareness of those. And also potentially sharing that content post the call as well. So once you've done a live stream, you can then have that content, you can share it. Where that's been really big, and live streaming kind of kicked off the whole video concept, because it started off in Asia, and it's very big in Asia. It started to permeate across. But live streaming as a concept is still big in Asia, but it hasn't really taken off as much in the US or Europe. And that's lent itself more towards one-to-one. So one-to-one shopping is a far more sticky channel because they're all of the time. And it's about connecting from your website or from a marketing touch point or from a social channel, basically connecting at the right point in your customer journey to your customer, and then allowing you to have an immersive shopping experience. So if you look at the little video that we've got running in the background here, this is an example website of one of our clients, and you can start to have different touch points to try and engage with the customer for a video call. So it could be a banner ad, it could be a widget, it could be an image, it could be a relevant point in that customer journey. And the key thing there is you're connecting to the customer at the right point in the buying journey. It could be where they're showing, they're stuck on a product where you can kind of understand that they're not necessarily convinced, or they're clicking around, so they're not settled on a product, or they're dwelling on a page, or they've checked a product out and they haven't bought it yet. So there's lots of touch points you can decide to engage. But once you do engage, as in the customer decides, okay, I'd like to have a video call because that sounds a great idea, it's really important that you link that person to somebody who can help them. I know that sounds like common sense, but what I mean by that is if I'm looking at a sofa, it's important that I'm linked to someone who understands these sofas and all the concepts of the sofas. Yeah, so just as you would have if you're walking around a department store and you went to you're in the furniture area and you're looking at sofas, the person who comes to speak to you wouldn't know about sofas. So it's really important you have that concept online. And once you do that, effectively, you've now got a chance to put your face to your brand, which means you can the customer starts to go, okay, I'm not just having a blank shopping experience with a website. I'm now talking to a real person who understands the products, but is also associated with that brand. And that then starts to build trust. And then one-to-one shopping then allows you to start to engage with the customer, ask them questions. What is it you're interested in? What is it? What products are you trying to do? Let me have a look at your room. If you're looking at a sofa, for example, you could flip your camera around. You could show the person, the person, the retail expert, your room, and they could look at the color schemes, look at your space, and they can really start to engage with you about the product. So one-to-one shopping is very much more about being there all the time. It's about making the whole shopping experience from your website, your marketing exposure, collaborative and shoppable. And it's not an event-based tool. It's there all of the time to allow your team to engage with your customers at the right buying time, right buy point.
What kind of are the ideal trigger points from the touch points really to get users to engage with the kind of the live shopping or the one-to-one shopping?
The best touch points. I mean, it's a really good question. I think people don't like widgets. Widgets are the classic approach. We have a widget. No one really likes widgets because you're cluttering up the design of a website. So we have lots of flavors of widgets. That's one example there. We've got some quite cool ones that are not as standard as like a chat-based style widget. But I think the best touch points for engaging are you can use what we call embeddables, which is where you can just have an SDK, and then you can trigger a video call from a button like we've got in the top corner. So for me, the best place to put that is potentially under the add to basket on a product. As we've got on that image there, you've got to hover over on the image. So if someone's looking at a product for a while, then put an overlay on the image saying, hey, would you like a video call on this, right? Or you could pop up a video widget in the corner at the same time to go, hey, would you like a video conversation about this particular sofa? So then the person who's shopping goes, hey, this is great. The company knows exactly what I'm looking at and has offered me the chance to speak to someone about this product. So I think widgets are there and there to stay for a little while, but I think there are better touch points to engage for video that are more intuitive for a customer, certainly from your website.
No, it's really, really insightful. And, I can really see the power, at that right point, you're getting the right customers to engage. So yeah, no, very powerful stuff, Dan. Thank you. So thanks for that, Dan. I think the next kind of question that flows to me really is, where does live video shopping and fit with other communication channels such as, part of an omni-channel retail strategy?
I think the two of them, I think video shopping is a really important part, I think, of a retailer's omni-channel strategy. I don't think it's not going to replace anything that's there already. So it's certainly not competition for something like chat. I think the two work really, really well together. So where if you think about chat, often if you browse a website, you'll have a little pop-up and you might have an automated engagement that might ask you certain qualifying questions about what you're interested in, or if you've got an existing order, etc. And that's obviously driven by a chatbot. And those type of experiences are great for obviously directing customer services calls, or they're great for post-sale calls, or great for doing things like rescheduling your flight, things where you just don't really want to talk to anybody. But a great analogy, and it's not my analogy, it's one of my team's analogies, but he basically said, you wouldn't put your customer services team at the door of your shop. You put your customer services team potentially further back in the shop, and you have your sales team greeting your customers as they come in to help guide them into what you're doing. And that's exactly how we see video and chat working together. So video, we think, should be at the forefront. Just like if you actually look at the little image we've got of our widget in the bottom corner, that widget is a kind of unified widget. We've built quite a clever engagement model. So that actually allows us to trigger a customer services chat as well as trigger a live video shopping call. So effectively what we're doing is offering a single touch point that allows you to route to a live shopping experience if you're shopping, and a customer service call, or a chatbot if you want to maybe change an order, or you want to speak to someone about an existing order. So I think the two work really well together, and they don't really kind of tread on each other's toes. And I think you need them both. I think customers need to be able to talk to you about an order. They don't necessarily want to talk to you unless they want to complain. But they, if they want to reschedule an order date, for example, then they're going to want to do that automatically, and that's where automated engagements are really good. Yes. But if I'm going to be spending £1,000 on a sofa, then I really want the retailer to sell to me. I want them to help me make sure I get the right product, make sure that when that product turns up, it's great and it's the one I wanted and I'm really happy. And that's where video is really strong. So I think
it's conversational, isn't it, really? Because you may, as you're starting to have conversations, you may think of further questions. So, I can see the real power of the conversation element.
Yeah. And that's why I think the two, automated, the technical term, I suppose, is you've got synchronous and asynchronous channels. But I think, synchronous channels like voice and video are really powerful for selling, because it's a nice personal experience. And you're talking to one person, you've got their attention, and chat's really good for, just sort things out that aren't necessarily that important to you right now, but you still want to get them done. So I think that part of it, they sit really well together. And I think as part of a social strategy as well. So it's not just about chat and voice. Obviously, you've got the social channels and the omni-channels as well. So things like Facebook Messenger or Apple Business Chat or RCS, all the other channels that you might be using now to engage, there's no change to how you would approach those, apart from the fact that those channels may now have an option to trigger a video call. So you may use those channels. Let's say you've done an Instagram marketing campaign and you've marketed one of your products. There's nothing to stop you putting a button that's saying, "Hey, I have a live video call now with one of our team," and that would then start a live video call with one of your retailers' teams on that particular product. So they work really well together. The video lends itself beautifully to a social marketing outreach, and it also really coexists nicely with automated chats and customer services tools.
So what are the kind of common challenges you see retailers having, really? And, how can they be using kind of live one-to-one video shopping to help overcome those challenges?
There's many challenges, obviously. I think live one-to-one helps to solve a few of those. The reason I wanted to put this slide up, I think it's just to kind of crystallize, why I think video is really important to help solve some of these challenges. I mean, if you designed your physical store, you would never, you spent all this time and energy making your store beautiful, getting all the products laid out perfectly, getting the footfall to flow around the stores as you'd want it to, make sure that you've got your team in the right places. But you would never set the store up like this. And the problem with this store is there's nobody in it. It's beautifully designed and the products are amazingly outlaid, but there's no one in here to serve your customers. So websites commonly have that problem. They basically can be incredibly frustrating. You spend all this time and energy building a beautiful website. Customers come to it, and often that's the first time the customers come to the website, so it's very fresh for them. They can be incredibly frustrating. People can't, when they come to your site, they can't necessarily find the products that they want because your team are the experts in your products, not the customer. So they've come to your site and they're trying to find a product, but they don't necessarily know the product. It might be the fact that you have a certain type of branding or product naming that isn't familiar to them, so they can't necessarily find what they want. And that obviously can lead to people churning. But the challenge with a retail website versus a physical store is I can just put a new URL in my browser, and I'm now browsing a whole new shop, a whole new store. So if I get frustrated, then I can leave very, very quickly. And that's very different to what you would have with a physical store. If I go into a physical store, then for me to make a decision to go to another physical store selling the same product is far harder than on a website. So it's important, we think, to kind of address that potential opportunity when our customers come to your site to help them find what they want. And that often means, they need advice from an expert. If I'm trying to buy a pair of shoes or I'm trying to buy a sofa, I don't know necessarily. I know the one that looks pretty and the one that I'd like, but I don't necessarily know if it's the right one for me. So getting that advice from your team to help me find the products I want is going to create a far better experience. And if you don't do these things, and these are common challenges, and I'm sure everyone will look at these and understand. Abandoned basket rate is a classic challenge that retailers have. Customers will put products in there. They'll use the basket as a wish list, and then they'll just disappear off. But sometimes that's because people don't understand the product well enough or have the confidence to buy, and that's where video can really support it. And things like return rates as well. Often people will buy multiple products because they're not sure which one's right. So because they're lazy, they just go, I might buy 2 sizes or I might buy 2 colors. And that immediately means they may keep one, but they're going to return the other one, which is obviously going to create a cost for the retailer. And, the classic with a website, you've got very low conversion generally from a website. 1 to 2% is pretty good average, and I'm sure people watching this will have lower conversion rates, and some may have higher conversion rates. But that's a low conversion rate for a lot of effort building that site. And there's a whole host of things you can do with that site to massively increase conversion, and video is certainly one of the ones that will do that.
For me, kind of a lot of businesses, measuring KPIs and statistics and data. Retailers are often used to kind of measuring statistics. So, what benefits really can retailers expect from video shopping, Dan? I'm thinking here like conversion rates, lifetime value.
Yeah, well, both of those certainly will increase, and I think it really depends as well on the type of product someone's selling. So video lends itself really well to a product that's reasonably technical in nature, and I don't necessarily mean technical in terms of a computer. I mean a product that requires somebody else's knowledge to make sure that you're getting the right thing. So it could be a sofa, for example. It could be a watch. It could be a piece of technology, but it's something that generally needs a bit of consultation to get it right. And it generally needs a average order value of maybe £100 or more to actually make it kind of fit for the retailer's budgets, and also to tie in with the conversion rate. And also, I suppose you've got that as one good fit for retail. And the other fit is where you have repeat business. So that could be beauty care, where somebody keeps coming back month after month, and then you start to build customer lifetime value because the average order value may be lower. So you might be spending £50, let's say, but because that customer is now coming back every month, you've now built customer lifetime value. So those 2 use cases fit really well for video. And the boost you'll get in those 2 scenarios is customer engagement will certainly increase because people will want to try the service. And we know the diversion rate will increase, for example, from just classic conversion rates or diversion rate will increase, but also the conversion rate will increase. The conversion rate will actually increase. Our average conversion rate on the platform is about 20%. So conversion rate dramatically improves. Things like NPS will improve as well. So customers not only buy more, they really like the experience, which again boosts things like customer lifetime value. But then you also, because people have had an amazing experience and it's quite an innovative thing the retailer's done, that then drives a whole network effect for that retailer as well by boosting positive online reviews. So the whole brand experience is boosted. Obviously, we talked about conversion rates increasing, and the average. We've seen. I mean, the highest conversion rate I think we've seen is it's certainly in the high 40%, which is it's incredible.
Most retailers would be happy with that 40% conversion rate. Yeah, incredible.
Yeah. And that's higher than you're going to get in store, really. So conversion rates fit really well. A lot of it is because your customers are browsing and you're capturing their attention at the right point in time in their buying journey. So they're not just wandering around a store kind of thinking, I might buy this, I might buy that. They're actually on your site and you've kind of qualified the fact that this customer is interested in this product, so I'm going to talk to them. And that really does boost the conversion rate. And in addition to that, because if I go to a website and I'm looking for a pair of shoes, I might just buy the pair of shoes. But if I'm chatting to you and you're telling me this pair of shoes, you've advised me the beautiful pair of shoes, you may go, Dan, there's a great shirt that goes with that pair of shoes as well. And there's a great pair of trousers that go with a pair of shoes. And then suddenly I'm buying a whole outfit and you're helping me pick the right ones to go with this product. So I'm really happy because I'm getting a great new outfit. Basically now my online average order value has gone up as well as my conversion rate. And coupled with that, because I'm really happy about the service you've given me, I'm going to give you a great NPS score and a positive online review. So there's a whole host of positive things that happen, which is great. Some of the pain points we've covered in the earlier slides, things like abandoned baskets and product returns, because you're helping me shop, the likelihood of you abandoning that basket post the call is far lower because I'm now comfortable what's in there. You've told me, you've explained the products to me and all the variations of that product. So I'm pretty happy and pretty confident that what's in the basket is what I need. So my likelihood to buy, my propensity to buy is much, much higher. So once people have a video call, the abandoned basket rate drops hugely. And the same with product returns. Product returns drops by 30% after someone's had a video call because they're buying the right products. So the whole kind of ecosystem, I suppose, of the brand experience, the revenue, the profitability, and feeding back into that, the customer intelligence. On the back of all those three things, we start to understand more about what customers need, and we can then improve that customer journey even more and make it better and better and better. So it's a constant cycle where you're just improving. And the results, these are the average results on Confer With. So this is our data, and this is across our client set. But we see 20% average conversion rate, and as I mentioned, some are significantly higher. We see a drop in returns rate of 30%, and that's when someone's had a video call, the return rates drop 30%, and that's a huge stat for retailers. The basket size that people buy goes up on average 50%, which is great. So not only are you getting a high conversion rate, you're getting more in each of those conversions, and your NPS rates are 80%, 8 and above, which is incredible. So all of the stats go the right way, and customers are happy when they're using the service.
No, thank you, Dan. It's really great, compelling stats. What retailer doesn't want to see high NPS scores, kind of reducing return rates and improving conversion rates. So thank you for sharing that. That was really very powerful. I think in lockdown, we were all very familiar with using Zoom, Teams, and we still do that today. For a lot of us who work online and retail, we're on a call. So I think for me, really, what kind of makes Confer With as a platform stand out above Zoom or Teams? Why wouldn't business use Teams or Zoom to sell to customers?
Good question. We do get asked that as well. How why wouldn't I use another product? And I think the obvious thing here is our one-to-one platform is designed specifically for retail. So the key thing there is we've enabled your team to seamlessly interact with your e-commerce platform and effectively have all of those capabilities exposed inside the video call. So it's not just a two-way video call, which is what you would get with Teams. So let's say this was a Teams call. I could share links with you to maybe products. You might just do a screen share, for example. But the screen share on a mobile device, for example, is not a good experience. You've probably got 70% of your calls, your your e-commerce calls coming in from mobile. So screen sharing screen sharing, we know, isn't a great experience for online shopping, and you're not going to get the conversion rate with screen sharing. You're sharing a link. It's not particularly exciting or immersive or creating a great experience between the customers. So you've got your two-way video, which you get with those products. You get the ability to screen share or share links, but you're not creating that immersive experience. And Confer is all about creating that immersive experience. So, we can connect customers across any device, and we can create that immersive experience across any device. You can get the touch point right. So with us or with video, one-to-one video shopping platforms, you have ability to trigger calls from the widget, from an image, from a button, from anything you like, from a marketing campaign, you're in control of where that call's triggered from. You can start to then present custom options to those customers after they've chosen to engage, if you want, to try and triage that customer and send to the right team or qualify a little bit. You've obviously got the in-call experience. I'll go into that a little bit more, but that's basically the ability to have all of the e-commerce capabilities shareable and shoppable inside the call. And you've also got the ability to buy. So that's quite important. If you're shopping and you're sharing, a key part of that whole process is I want to actually buy the products at the end, and you can buy and you can complete the purchase inside Confer with too. So just to give you a bit more of detail, I suppose, on things like sharing content. So when you're in our platform and you're looking at a particular product, all the assets you can then share on the customer screen, and you're in complete control of what's shown to the customer. So you can choose to share a gallery of images, for example, and the customer will then see those images on their screen. They'll also see you, and so you'll keep that eye contact and and building that relationship with the expert. But all the images are shareable. The customer can engage with them. They can start swiping with them, and that will also change on the expert side. So we're creating that synchronized experience, and the expert can then choose to start sharing other information about the product. Maybe it's detailed product information. If I was buying a TV, for example, I'd want to know information about the screen size, the screen resolution, the screen type, maybe the energy efficiency, all of the things that might be influencing my buying decision. The expert can then choose to share. There might be videos in there as well that the expert can share. And again, both sides can control where those images are displayed. So the key thing there is creating an experience. Again, going back to what the goal of the whole platform is, which is to try and create that online shopping experience or that in-store shopping experience online. And if we're in the store and we're looking at this TV, we'd both be looking at the same time. If you were playing a video on that TV, we'd both be looking at it. Confer with mirrors that. So everything is in sync. And that's really important for us for creating that immersive experience. You've also got the ability with a platform like ours to start to help support the buy flow. And what I mean by that is if a customer's come in on a product, let's say looking for a TV, our platform can start to show alternative TVs to the retail person supporting the customer that might be slightly more expensive, slightly cheaper, or have slightly higher specification or slightly lower specification in the same category to quickly allow your team member to find the next product for the customer. You might want to sell the customer a soundbar as well as the TV, so that the customer decide they want to buy the TV. You might want to do an add-on, so we can then cross-sell a soundbar to the customer. So our platform is starting to not only allow you to immerse the customer in products, but manage the buy flow and allow experts to quickly, or your retail experts to quickly navigate your product set and find the right product to show the customer without them losing that connection to the customer on the video side of it. And they can also do things like they can just go and search for a product if they like, anything they like. And the key thing there is allowing your team member to quickly find the right product to showcase to customers. So this is where it really starts to differ for against a standard Zoom or Teams, because you're getting all of the e-commerce product capabilities available inside that video call to share, and that's what creates that immersive capabilities and that great shopping experience, which drives those conversion rates. So a great stat there on the left. Once you start to share products inside our platform, your conversion rate goes up to, on average, to 30%. So we help coach a lot of the people using our platform on how to use it to make sure that share images, share different products, talk to the customer, understand their needs, try and show them variety so they know So they get a feel of the type of products and services you offer, and you can then hopefully find the right one for them. And they'll hopefully then go and buy it. And if you do that, your conversion rate goes up, and also your average order value goes up, because you've not only sold them a TV, you've now sold them a soundbar as well. They're happy. So you're there. So again, that comes back to NPS and the other wonderful things that come with it. And they may then come back because they think this is a great experience. I'm going to buy my next piece of technology from this customer. So, or this retailer. So there's a lot of reasons why our platform differs from something like a Zoom or a Teams. And it's mainly because ours has been built specifically to allow video shopping for a retailer.
Thanks, Dan. I think you and I are very familiar with technology, and we've been around for a good number of years. And for me, kind of a standout question is I can see Confer with it's great technology, very applicable. But for me, how easy is Confer with for a retailer or a tech company to install? I think that's a real standout question for me.
Yeah, and it's a classic. And the way we built our platform, we know that technology and investing heavy sums of money in implementation fees and all the other elements just doesn't work now. And our platform has been very much designed to be turnkey in terms of implementation. So we have out-of-the-box integrations to all of the main e-commerce platforms. So the likes of Magento, Salesforce, Shopify, BigCommerce. I've probably forgotten a few there as well. I probably think I've forgotten a few. But basically, the whole point I'm trying to make there is our platform has a effectively integration platform as a service layer inside it, with a whole load of pre-built templates to allow us to easily connect to third-party e-commerce platforms. So, in answer to your question, if someone has a standard e-commerce platform, then it's turnkey for us. It's a case of, okay, whatever you have, we will then pick the template, and then you'll automatically be connected. You have to deploy our widget, or you have to deploy our call to action. That's effectively a JavaScript tag. And most retailers will be familiar with deploying a tag. Once you deploy those two things, you're up and running. So, and I probably made that sound a little bit too simple. I mean, it's not all about the technology. It's, the tech side of it is actually really straightforward. The bit that takes time is obviously making sure things like the creative is in line with the brand's brand, for example, and making sure that it fits in with the customer journey that the brand has. So the bits that take a little bit of time are working with the creative teams, working with the design teams, working with the e-commerce teams as well, so they can check things like load times or the other elements that they have to make sure they're comfortable. They take a bit of time. Yeah. And there'll be a couple of iterations on creative to get right. There'll be training to get the team up to speed on video selling, because maybe they haven't done it before, or they're not particularly confident doing that type of action. So our team will spend time with their team doing test calls, training calls, and also looking at how they perform on the platform and helping them, supporting them afterwards. So technically, it takes probably half a day to a day to do, but to actually get someone live, you're looking at between a week, probably for a pretty straightforward setup, to a month for one that's more complicated, involved, or maybe bespoke, where someone's built their own e-commerce platform, because we would then have to talk to them about getting, how do we interact with your products, how do we deploy our widget, all the other elements which are not necessarily standard, and maybe they don't have a tag manager deployed. We don't know how they've configured their product set inside their platform. So things like that sometimes take a bit longer. But if it's out of the box, then 1 week to a month is pretty much the average that we see.
Well, that's great news for me as a retailer. Anything you can get live as quick as that is, really compelling. I think the next question is really, I'm really liking the product, and I can see the benefits really. But as a retailer, how are we going to resource the platform? What options do we have, and how are we going to achieve this?
It's a good question, and obviously we're very much aware that this isn't an automated engagement. This is an engagement that requires a person on the other end of it. So I think it really varies on the retailer and how they're set up. So our platform, just to start with, has a really powerful routing engine, and this is important. We spent a lot of time and energy building that routing engine, and it's it's designed to support retailers that have a whole host of different setups. So they might have staff in different locations, they might have different departments, different teams, different skill sets, different product lines, and they want to be able to control who gets what call when. They might want to do certain call types running by appointments, certain call types running by what we would call a walk-in, or certain call types triggered by a team. So there's a whole host of different ways organizations can set themselves up. And our platform aims to support that. But generally, you've got, you might have your team members in store. So it might have people actually on the shop floor. And if someone's on the shop floor, then they would generally have a mobile phone that they can, or they have a tablet, and they would have the Confer with app deployed on that device, and they'd then actually be able to receive calls in the store. They can toggle whether they're chatting to a customer or they're available or not for a call. You could have dedicated studios inside that store as well, and we're seeing this more and more. And actually, we've got some great use cases or case studies coming up on our website showing some amazing setups that some of our customers have done. It blew us away actually when we saw it. But so studios I think are really powerful for video because again, you're creating a great experience. You've got all the products inside the e-commerce platform to share, but also you've potentially got a studio where you've got real products to share as well. So you're blending the two. You've also got your contact center as well. So you'll probably have a team of people taking calls on behalf of people, maybe using voice as they're actually taking voice calls for sales. Your team working from home. You've got our team as well. So we have a team of what we call brand ambassadors, and those brand ambassadors are pretty sharp cookies, and they can get on top of your product set quite quickly, and they support retail teams selling as well. So how to resource it? I think a hybrid approach is the honest answer. I think it really varies on your setup, but we find if you find people in a contact center or a virtual team works really well, and that delivers really good results because you've got people there who are dedicated to selling on video. They're people who are comfortable selling on video. They've got the right setup, so they've got the room set out all correctly. It's quiet or it's in a controlled environment, so they're comfortable taking that video call. That we find works really well. Obviously, using our team works really well as well. Having people on the shop floor, that does work, and it does, and we do see great results. Certainly, if you want to show the products you have to customers that are actually in your store, obviously that's a great way of doing it. But the challenge you have with people in store is they're also talking to customers, physical customers who are in your shop, in your store. So they have to prioritize the physical customer over the virtual customer. So it's sometimes difficult to get the availability right when you're using team in store. So in our view, our experience, the best way to resource it is to try and, if you can, have one or two people at least dedicated to taking video calls, or certainly if you're using people in the store, use our team as well to support them. So if they're not available for call, our team can pick that call up on your behalf, and they can then engage with your customers as well. That's the best way to resource it, and just the way we support that. And we have a detailed training program where we'll take all retailer staff through how to use the product, how best to set the product up. We'll actually adjust the way the product flows as well with them to make sure it flows well for them. And I said we'll coach them post go live as well. So we'll actually look at who's performing well, who's not performing well, and just guide them to say, look, maybe share more, or maybe spend more time talking about this, and because we can see how the interactions have happened. So there's no kind of single answer to get it right. I think it really depends on how you're set up as a retailer, whether you can have a virtual team, and whether you've only got people physically set up, and the platform can kind of adjust your configuration, and we can then help advise the best way to resource it.
What I really like there really is the flexibility. So you can get things live, and you can just always evaluate and reconfigure the setup. No, that's really compelling.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of test and learn. You might try with people in store first. You'll see, does that work? Are you getting the conversion? You can see things like customer satisfaction on surveys that come back, or NPS. So you can start to get a feel of whether that's working. Or you might look at the amount of calls you're missing because people's devices are ringing, but they can't take the call because they're serving someone. So you can get a feel for what it is, and it's very easy to adjust. It's not a case of once it's set up, you're stuck with it. If you wanted to adjust it, to change it, then very quick and simple to do.
Kind of, as we're kind of concluding the conversation, Dan, really, I think if you've got any kind of case studies, what customers have, implemented Confer with, what's worked well, I think, just really for the webinar listeners, really, I think people always like case studies. I think if you've got some good case studies, user cases, that would be really, really insightful.
We do. And I would, go to the Confer with website, confer.io. We've got some great case studies on our site. I mean, just to pull up one here, this is a client that went live recently, L'Occitane. They're a great brand. They obviously sell beauty products. They have interestingly, they have people in the stores taking the calls, but they also have virtual teams taking the calls as well. So they actually blend the two, and that works really well for them. But they love the product. It's working really well for them. I won't bore you with all the videos because, but I would say that please do watch them. It's really interesting to hear people's feedback and also the different teams. This isn't just the tech team. This is people using it and the customer success teams and the people who are managing the stores as well. It's a whole array, but the capabilities of the product were a great fit for them. They wanted to change the way they interacted with the customers as well, and they wanted to enhance that online shopping experience and bringing something like video to really create something new. And they're a really forward-looking brand. They've been wonderful to work with, and they will try different things, and they'll buy into them as well. They'll put what I mean by that is they'll put the time and effort into them to make them be a success. And they've just basically it's been a perfect fit for them. Their team have really loved it. We've had great feedback. Like the Confer product is unique. It's really easy to integrate. It's really intuitive to use. BAs are brand ambassadors, just so people know. So that's effectively what we would call an expert or an agent. They're the person who really understands the product on behalf of the retailer that the customer talks to. They really love the product. Obviously, you can start to talk to people 24/7, depending on how you staff your setup as well, which creates a whole new selling opportunity as well. And what's really interesting actually on that point, you might have a store open from 9 till 6 or maybe 9 till 8, but people's online shopping traits are different to the physical shopping traits. So we see this obviously because we have data about availability, etc., and traffic. And there's a clear increase in people shopping when they get home from work or later on in the afternoon, right through to probably 10 or 11 o'clock at night. So video gives you the opportunity to tap into those customers as well and offer that in-store experience even when your store's shut, because effectively you can now potentially use the team to talk to people online. They might be working from home. You might be able to close the store and still have people in it, and you can have a conversation with customers. So you've got a whole new kind of window of selling. The whole process, I mean, we sent a team out this was implemented in Dubai, and we sent a team out to work with them to implement. It was a seamless experience integrating. It was through Salesforce. They had as their e-commerce platform, and their team and our team just went through and configured the platform, and it was super quick to get the tech live. And then we had a team out who were training their different stores on how to use the platform, making sure they were set up correctly, getting them comfortable on video, which is one of the key things, making sure that people are comfortable on video. And that whole training and learning then has really given them the confidence to start flying with the platform. And they now think it's great. And I think it's potentially the future of certainly selling online. And they think it's going to help them sell more and also importantly, retain customers. So you mentioned one of the key KPIs, things like customer lifetime value. I think video on a beauty product is a perfect combination for that. But there's a whole host of case studies. We've got case studies for lots of different verticals or different elements of verticals within retail. So, depending on what your store is doing, I'm sure there's a case study there which probably lends itself to what you're selling to give you an idea of a customer's experience in that space.
Thanks, Dan. I encourage people to check out those case studies. But thank you for going through that live example. Really, really great stuff.
No problem.
I think the final question for me really is, it's a great webinar today, so thank you for taking part. How easy is it for customers to try Confer with, and how do they go about signing up?
Very easy. Very easy is the good news. You can self-sign up from our website. You can, and that will effectively allow you to have your own profile page, and you're able to then start selling directly. You can request a configuration on your. So if you have a Shopify store or a Magento store, you can basically put a request in on our website. Our team will get in touch with you, and again, depending on timeframes, etc., we can have you up and running within, say, a week or a month, depending on how complicated things are. But that's generally the timeframes for it. So the platform is designed to be near zero touch, and I would say near zero touch because I think even though you can have a seamless sign up, there are always things that are going to need potentially changing because every retailer's customized their site. So even if you have a Magento platform underneath, lots of people have put the layers on top of it, which are adding different elements of complexity to improve the customer journey or change the way their products are handled or change the way their recommendations work, things like that. So there's always going to be, certainly for a heavily designed and well thought through website that's gone through multiple iterations and has a team driving it, that may take a little bit longer to set up, but it's very easy for customers to request and have a look at Confer with, have a demo Confer with. We can showcase people's sites. You can actually superimpose our widget on your site and show your products inside Confer with, so you can actually have a good understanding or feel of how it would look before you potentially sign up or request a trial.
Well, thanks, Dan. I've really enjoyed today's conversation, and I was lucky enough to know about Confer with before our conversation, but it was just so insightful today. Really good, strong use cases. Great case studies. So thank you, Dan. I really appreciate your time.
Likewise, Aynsley, thank you very much for your time and inviting me to talk today. It's been great. I hope people have found it interesting as well. And see any questions, please do fire them over to Aynsley and myself.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks again. Really appreciate it. Really great conversation. Thank you.
Thanks, Aynsley.